Today, we're going back to August 1521, a turning point in history. This was the day the mighty Aztec Empire fell, and the world witnessed the end of one of the most advanced civilizations of the time. Spanish forces, led by Hernán Cortés, captured Tenochtitlan, a city of immense wealth, beauty, and mystery. But beneath its grandeur lay a dark secret: the Aztec Empire and the city of Tenochtitlan. Tenochtitlan was the beating heart of the Aztec Empire, a city built in the middle of Lake Texcoco. Spanish explorers who arrived there were utterly mesmerized by its beauty. They found an intricate system of canals, floating gardens, and towering temples, so captivating that some of them wondered if it was all just a dream. Bernal Diaz del Castillo, one of Cortés' soldiers, described great towers and quays rising from the water, all built of masonry. To him, Tenochtitlan was nothing short of an enchanted vision. At its peak, the city had a population of over 200,000 people, making it 5 times the size of Madrid at the time. The Templo Mayor, center of the Aztec universe. At the very center of Tenochtitlan stood the Templo Mayor, a towering symbol of the Aztec worldview. For the Aztecs, this was the center of the universe. 13 levels of heaven rose above it, while 9 underworlds lay beneath. The Templo Mayor wasn't just a physical structure, it was a spiritual marker of their promised land. The city was filled with vibrant color, clean streets, and rich decorations. But behind this facade of beauty lay a dark and chilling practice that shaped the heart of the Aztec religion. The dark secret of human sacrifice. The Aztecs believed that the sun god, Huitzilopochtli, was locked in an eternal battle against darkness. In order for the sun to rise each day, the god needed to be fed with human blood. This belief led to some of the most brutal rituals in history: human sacrifice. During these horrific rituals, priests would rip out the still-beating hearts of prisoners of war and offer them to the gods. The remains were then rolled down the temple steps and, in some cases, even consumed by the priests. It was a gruesome tradition that reached its peak in 1487, when the Aztecs sacrificed over 80,000 prisoners in just 4 days to consecrate the Templo Mayor. The Spanish siege and the fall of Tenochtitlan. By the time the Spanish arrived, the brutal practices of the Aztecs had driven a wedge between them and other indigenous tribes. When Cortés began his campaign, many of these tribes eagerly allied with the Spanish, hoping to bring an end to the Aztec dominance. Fewer than 1,000 Spanish soldiers, led by Hernán Cortés, joined forces with tens of thousands of indigenous allies in a 93-day siege. The once great city was reduced to rubble, and the spiritual backbone of the Aztec Empire, the Templo Mayor, was demolished. This marked not just the fall of a city, but the end of a civilization. The rise of New Spain and Mexico City. After the fall of Tenochtitlan, the Spanish began to rebuild the city, but this time with a new purpose. Using the dismantled stones of the Templo Mayor, they constructed one of the grandest Christian monuments in the New World, the Metropolitan Cathedral. Over the next 250 years, generations of builders worked to create this magnificent cathedral. Its most famous feature, the Altar of the Kings, is so massive that it feels like a separate room inside the church. The city transformed from the heart of the Aztec Empire into the centerpiece of New Spain. Mexico City's architectural legacy. Though the Aztec Empire was lost, Mexico City's grandeur continued to grow. It became known as the City of Palaces, adorned with both secular and religious buildings that rivaled Europe's most majestic cities. From Baroque to neoclassical, and even Art Deco, Mexico City's buildings reflect centuries of cultural evolution. When German geographer Alexander von Humboldt visited in the 1800s, he was so impressed that he christened it the City of Palaces, a title the city holds to this day. Though Tenochtitlan fell, its legacy continues to shape the identity of Mexico City. The stones of the ancient Aztec Empire now form the foundations of one of the world's great capitals, where old and new blend together seamlessly. From its tragic fall to its rise as a modern metropolis, Mexico City remains a place where history lives on. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating historical events.